Today on RSL, the NBA says goodbye to a legend.
We see how the league and the rest of the world reacts.
Welcome to this week's episode of Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Shelby Kluver. Those were scenes outside Staples Center this week after the sudden death of Kobe Bryant on Sunday.
And I'm Tim Edmonds. We begin with the details of the incident. First reported by TMZ, former NBA star Kobe Bryant and 8 others died in a helicopter crash Sunday afternoon. On board with Bryant were 8 others, including Bryant's 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. Escorting Gianna to a travel basketball tournament, Bryant was in the company of 7 other parents and players when the helicopter went down in Calabasas, California. Among the dead were John and Carrie Altobelli and their daughter, Alyssa. John was a local college baseball coach at Orange Coast College. Team parent Sarah Chester and daughter Peyton, head coach Christina Mauser, and pilot Aria Zabayan. The reason for the crash is still unknown, with heavy fog in the area believed to be the primary culprit. The chopper had been given special clearance to take off prior to the incident. The crash is still under heavy investigation by authorities. Bryant was 41.
For 20 years, Los Angeles knew they could count on one man to live up to the name Black Mamba. One of the biggest stars in any sport, Bryant racked up 18 All-Star appearances, 5 championship wins, and 2 gold medals. His work ethic was unparalleled, leading him to 4 All-Star MVP awards and an 81-point game in 2006. But his career also carried controversy. A 2003 criminal sexual assault charge, which was eventually dropped, damaged his public image and cost him all but one brand deal. Bryant was a player as complicated as he was competitive, and he hated few things more than losing. But he was never quite the same after tearing his Achilles tendon in an April 2013 game, where he managed to sink 2 late-game free throws before hobbling off the court. 3 years later, in 2016, he would retire, but not before scoring 60 points in his final game and final win with the Lakers. After basketball, he became a youth educator and mentor through his Mamba Sports Academy, an Oscar winner, and, most importantly, a devoted family man. His legacy is both iconic and complicated. His talent was unmatched. His game was unforgettable. The name Kobe Bryant will undoubtedly live on in history forever.
Across the athletic world and social media platforms, athletes, professional and amateur, remembered the Laker great.
RSL's Amelia Ickes has more on what was said.
People around the world took to Twitter to pay their respects to Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and the other 7 victims of Sunday's helicopter crash. Public figures like Barack Obama, LeBron James, and Shaquille O'Neal all made statements, but also many from the Chicago and Loyola community made posts honoring the victims. Among those paying tribute was former Loyola men's basketball player Dante Ingram. Ingram posted on Monday in support of the NBA changing their logo to feature a silhouette of Bryant. Fellow men's basketball alum Marcus Towns also extended his sympathies by posting photos of Bryant with his daughter, captioned with a broken heart. Outside of the Loyola community, many other organizations in Chicago expressed their grief. The Chicago Bulls made a statement on Twitter about the tragic loss, saying, "While he leaves us far too soon, his legacy and persona will forever be remembered. One of the best who have ever played the game of basketball, we extend our deepest sympathies to the Bryant family and the other families affected." Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot also made a public statement on her Twitter. She says, "Saddened by the death of Kobe Bryant, one of the NBA's greatest legends who inspired fans with his drive and passion." Bryant's wife, Vanessa, broke her silence on the tragedy on January 29th by posting a photo on Instagram of the entire family. In the caption, she writes, "I'm not sure what our lives hold beyond today, and it's impossible to imagine life without them. Our love for them is endless, and that is to say, immeasurable. I just wish I could hug them, kiss them, and bless them, have them here with us forever." Although Bryant was a Laker for life, his absence is still felt in Chicago and around the world. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Amelia Ickes.
Thanks, Amelia. Not only were players posting tributes on social media, but there were also tributes on the court. After Bryant's death Sunday, many called for all league games to be canceled. Despite these requests, the remaining 8 games that night went on as scheduled. All across the league, players admitted it was incredibly difficult to focus on basketball immediately following the incident. To honor Kobe, teams playing Sunday took 24-second shot clock violations and 8-second backcourt violations to start each game. The seconds of each violation remembered Bryant by the 2 numbers he wore during his 20-year career in the league. Several NBA players who currently wear the numbers 8 and 24, like Lakers guard Quinn Cook and Brooklyn Nets guard Spencer Dinwiddie, have already changed their numbers. Other teams illuminated their stadiums and video boards with the Lakers' purple and gold. The United Center displayed a picture of the Laker great outside for a full 48 hours. In the wake of the event, the league announced only a single game would be postponed, as the Lakers-Clippers matchup Tuesday has been moved to a later date. The Lakers' first game after Kobe's passing is slated for Friday, January 31st, against the Portland Trail Blazers at the Staples Center in Los Angeles.
After his 2016 retirement, Bryant seemed to retreat from basketball. But when Gianna showed interest in the sport, her first coach was her dad. The team, of course, was named the Mambas. But Bryant's support didn't end with his daughter. He and Gianna started building relationships with the WNBA and many of its players. From training sessions to friendships to commercials in support of the league, the stories of the women personally impacted by the two Bryants are numerous. Former player and current San Antonio Spurs assistant coach Becky Hammond said, "The women's game lost a real advocate and someone who truly believed that women can do anything." Bryant was a committed ally to the WNBA, one that players across the league have come forward to honor and to mourn. There are countless moments to remember after a 20-year Hall of Fame-worthy career.
Our own Matt Mason breaks down Kobe's most iconic in this week's Top 5.
Kobe Bryant was an NBA legend. He inspired a generation of players, and his legacy will continue to inspire for years to come. The first Kobe accomplishment that stands out to me is his 2 Olympic gold medals. To win these, Kobe had to play more of a facilitator role than he was used to as a Laker. This just goes to show his ability and willingness to adapt in order to win. Next is his stunning performance against the Toronto Raptors in 2006, where Bryant scored 81 points. This was the second most points scored by a player in a single game in NBA history. Bryant's greatness can also be seen in his final game as a Laker. In his farewell performance, Bryant torched the Jazz for 60 points, capping off his legendary career. Then he ended the night with a speech and a now iconic line, "Mamba out." This game is arguably the most memorable final game in major sports history. Bryant didn't struggle with his transition into retirement. In 2018, he won an Oscar for his short film titled Dear Basketball. Just 2 years after retirement, Bryant accomplished something that people worked their entire lives for. This is the greatness of Kobe Bryant, his ability to set his mind to anything he has, an accomplishment. Finally, Kobe Bryant's greatest accomplishment was being an incredible father. When I first heard the tragic news, the first thing I thought of wasn't a highlight dunk or an image of him holding up a championship trophy. It was him sitting courtside with his daughter, teaching her about the game of basketball. From a basketball legend to a superstar father, Kobe Bryant was the epitome of greatness. I'm Matt Mason, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Tim, what is your favorite Kobe moment?
I'd have to go with his last game. It was just a perfect way to send off an NBA legend.
Have to agree. Well, thanks for joining us tonight on Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Shelby Kluver.
And I'm Tim Edmonds. As always, Mamba out.